Hello everybody, it's Dio from Firm But Fair Gaming bringing you another BellWright video. Today we are going to take a look at how to more efficiently set up your village, so just some tips and tricks. You could have possibly figured these out on your own, but this is just in case you're having trouble and not quite sure what to do. I'm going to share with you what I've learned in hopes that it is helpful to you. So as you can see, my village is what I want to say is kind of out of the beginner stage. I got 6 people right now. I have 1,200 gold, 600 renown. I could easily have 8 followers or maybe even 10. I have almost exited my tech tree, so I haven't done the village hall yet, but I have pretty much everything else minus a couple things. So to me, as soon as you get your longbow and you can start really hunting efficiently, killing bandits and that sort of thing, you leave the beginner stage and I want to say just go into the advanced stage, for lack of a better definition. I can't think of another word to use. So in the advanced stage, you upgrade to, like, you get a farm going, you have your smoker, like your food situation is pretty much set. You have all the manufacturing places set up, minus a couple of the ones that I don't have a pit saw and places like that. And then of course your stockpile is just like growing, and you're fully functional. So like if we look here, I have 100 river reed, I have 55 wood, which isn't anything special. I got mushrooms, radishes, pelts, mud, logs. I mean, I used to have 25, but I built a bunch of stuff. Like, you're good. I have 114 flax. Like, things are going well. My population is at work and all that. So, for some population management and some tips and tricks, let's take a look at our buildings here. If I get in the right thing. So when I'm looking at the buildings and when you're setting things up, when you first start, you're going to just have like a foraging station, foraging camp, and like a lumber station, lumber yard, or whatever they call it. And so the way I do it is I just put everything in here and assign values through the 1 through 9. And then, well, I guess I don't have one thing in here, but I don't have iron ore on there. We assign them a priority listing. And what I do, because there's 2 options, there's a one-off where it's a single request, and then there's a top-up, which is what I always do. So I want them to always work towards having this much of that particular resource available in my stash. So when I go to my storage, for instance, I only have 55 wood, and plus I got 63 wood there. And so they're going to work towards populating that. Once I get 75 wood, they'll move on to the crude stone, my copper, tin, or hemp, flax, whatever I want. And if I find myself short on one, then I can just move these up and down in the priority list, and then they'll go about foraging for that item before moving on to the next one. And so I have that priority listing. Obviously, I only have one forager. If you go to your population here, you can only have, buildings. There's only one person assigned. So if you want a second person foraging, you would need to build a second foraging camp. And then they would help, and then you would set your, assign a task to it with the whatever you wanted to be searched for. So if I really wanted, I could build a second one. In one, I could have them just gather wood and stone, like all those. And then the other one, they could gather the berries, mushrooms, flax, and hemp, like that sort of thing is an option. And then if, like, kind of same thing when I go to my logging camp, like I always want to have 25 logs on hand. So there's 55 wood in stock over there. I put a one-off order to gather some there, and then I have 5 logs on hand. But they're going to slowly work towards getting me 25 logs. Because if I go to my storage, I have 5. I mean, one's being delivered, so they're going to, like I said, I built a lot of stuff, so they're going to work towards repopulating that thing. So that's one thing to do with the buildings and how I run the top up. So I also do that with the farm as well. Like if I go to my farms, so I have 2 farms for starters. So if I go to farm number 1, I have my food on it. So I have potatoes, turnips, that sort of thing, just food. And then if I go to farm number 2, I have cotton, wheat, flax. Like I just want resources built there. And so I only have one person set to farm. So if I go to my population, I have one person set to farming, and so far she's been able to manage both farms well. So I just leave that. And then, so this is what I want everybody to do. So I want her to be primarily on farming, and then she could go forage, lumber, that sort of thing. And then I have a lot of them for certain things where I don't want them to bother going to do. And that's because if I look at her individual attributes, there's certain things that she's good at and certain things she's not. And so I want her to just be focused on her specialty. And if I go back to that screen, the reason, like, so for her, I want her to be farming because she is 5 of 6 farming, so it increases the yield amount that she'll get from what she plants and harvests by 50%. So that's why I want her to be farming and harvesting and not really doing anything else. So I have that set up, and then also when I'm just out in the wilderness, you can be in town and you can move your resources from this to that, and you can come here and tell them what you want them to do. Like I should tell them to repair that. Um, and you can assign all the tasks manually that way. But if I was out in the middle of nowhere, like I can just go to my buildings and I can start assigning tasks from this area, or I can go back to my population and I can see what they're doing, and I can move them from, like, if this person was crafting and I wanted them to go cut wood because nobody was cut wood, I could reassign their properties here and then they would go about doing that. Another thing that we want to, that I'll touch on is as you're playing the game, you're going to get a bunch of books. So if I go to my camp, like I have a book here, Apprentice Research. So if I wanted to, I could find the dude that does my research, which is this guy. And I can go to his attributes, and there should be a plus sign to click there, and I could click it, and he would start reading the book to increase his researching. Well, he's already reading a book towards harvesting, because they can only read one book at a time. So you want to make sure that as you get these books that you are making your followers read them. Like I also have a couple books in here for labor. And this is a journeyman book, so which means that they have to have a labor of rank 3 before they can read it. So if I talk to Frank here and go to his attributes, his labor is only 1, so he can't read that book. If I go to this person, they're also 1, they can't read it. I don't even know if I have anybody that can read that, to be honest. So if I go to my population, she might be my best bet. She's only a 2. So like I don't even have anybody that has labor 3 that can read this book. Oh, I turned out to be live. He can. And is this him here that's sitting here? I don't even know what he's doing, to be honest. But he could read that book, but as I said, he is currently reading the Harvest book. You just want to keep track of what books you have, and you want to also like increase your followers' stats as well as your own, because obviously if I go to me, I'm reading a book on archery. Like you want to make sure that all those things are, that you don't forget about them. From a food standpoint, I have a couple traps that I have set over here. So that is good for just getting some food, and although none of this is cooking right now, I always have my campfire set up, so I have cooked meat, and then I want to build a smoking rack so I can have up to, I don't know, like 7 or 8 things that you can have smoked there, and just the variety of that is what I'm able to, like I have smoked mushroom, smoked meat, smoked fish. Like this is what is enabling me to have such a large health bar and stamina, so you want to keep that going as well. And for the most part, when I'm out and about, I usually do some hunting or whatever. I come back and drop this on, or I send somebody out to the traps, and there's usually enough food it's just there and things are fine. And by having the 2 farms set up right now, like my people don't complain about being hungry. Occasionally they do stand around a little bit, like I don't even know what this guy is doing, but that's probably just because I'm not focusing on telling him what to do at the moment, as I just want to share what I've learned. And so it's pretty handy once like you get enough followers, like I have 6 here, like running and operating them out of just the population or your settlement keybind here is so handy, especially when you're out in the middle of quests and you want something done. You can just set about doing it, set up tasks, queue it up, if they don't have the resources and like, you want them to make some linen, they don't have it, they'll go into the stockpile and get it. And then if it's not in the stockpile and you have them set up as a harvester, and nobody's foraging, then they'll go about procuring those sorts of resources that you need. Moving on from that, well, we can talk about the travel posts or the signs because this is what is kind of also you unlock after you leave that introductory stage. So as you can see, I have a few travel signs all over the place. And what I like to do is if it takes me 5 minutes to run somewhere, I build a sign. So then like at most I'm only running like 2.5 minutes, give or take. So, or if there's like a major crossroads, so like I like to have one outside Padstow. I have another one. Well, I'm pretty close to Hardeer or Dean. Sorry, I don't even know how you want to pronounce that. I'm terrible at what A following AE after H would sound like. No idea. But so as you can see, like I have them kind of spaced out. I attempted to build one down here, but I think I got chased away by bandits. And same down, I have another one here. So like put them in some key locations, really cut down on your travel time, and it just really speeds up the map when you're doing quests and all that sort of thing. And then if you go to fight bandits, like as you kind of branch out from some of the introductory bandit stages, where there's three of them and you can kind of pick those off by yourself with your bow and whatever, you can recruit these guys and switch them over to like you can switch them over to like your army, like call to arms kind of thing. Oops. Sorry, not that button. So you just run up to them and tell them to be your companion, and then you can give them weapons and that sort of thing. So like if I go to his inventory, he have just a stick, but like I could give him a weapon, for instance, and then he'd be armed. Like I should have weapons in the stockpile. Yeah, so like if I take this, and then I go to his inventory from my inventory, I can give him a weapon, and then he'll come with me and he'll have an axe. And then if we go fight this particular bandit camp, there's like 5 of them over there, then at least it's 2 versus 5, whereas if it's just me, it's 1 versus 5. So, and I could also go grab another follower as well, and then you can just actually have an army fight. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I should really pass on here. Like, as you can see and mentioned earlier, I have certain things assigned to certain people just so to make sure that a job is always being done and there's no overlap, which causes people to then be standing around. I analyze their attributes to make sure that they're in the right area. So this guy, I recruited him because he was more of a fighter, so I'll take him with me kind of thing. So I make sure that people are doing what they're doing. He does the cooking. He could assist with the farming, but he basically is my researcher as well as does some crafting for me. But you know what I mean. So you can see here. And when recruiting people, I like to try to find people that have like the prodigy. Also the porter. I know they move a little bit slower, but they got the extra inventory. Optimist is nice. Another porter for the inventory. I didn't mind the nearsighted because they're just going to be a hand-to-hand fighter for me. And then this one, I don't think I have anything. But the more renown you get, the more of a unique or, I guess, highly operated or specialized follower you can get, like the more skilled they are. Yeah, so that's kind of like my recap and my tips and tricks for managing the town. I have, like I said, I have 6 followers. It's pretty self-sufficient now. I don't really worry about resources too much unless I go on a build crazy or research crazy that kind of depletes me of one. But then all you need to do is go back into like your building management and just increase. If I need more wood, then I would just pop this up to 100. If I needed more logs, then I could bump that up to like 50. Where's my logging station? Like, I could make that up to 50 because as you can see, we're up to 11 now. And also, if you really want to and you find they're not gathering it quickly enough, you could just build a duplicate of that building. So like for me, for the food situation, I wasn't getting enough output out of my farm, so that's why I built a second one. And yeah, since I built that second one, it has reduce my, like I don't have a food problem anymore. Everybody's always fed. Nobody gets to complain. More importantly, I'm always fed. So therefore, I'm always in a good spot. Like, here, let me just eat that. It did not as much as I was hoping. But, my health bar and my stamina bar are really good there. So like if I was really efficient at fighting, I might be able to fight 5 if I was able to pick off a couple with the bow, and then if I was able to, and then efficient with my parrying and that sort of thing. But anyhow, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. I think I probably got a little bit long-winded there, but hopefully those tips and tricks help you set up an efficient village, and I hope it pays off, and then it enables you to do more and more. So that's all I wanted to cover. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. As always, we appreciate any likes, shares, and subscribes. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch if you're watching me on YouTube. So it is Dioxinal196 on Twitch. And if you're on Twitch watching me, don't forget to check out the YouTube for Firm But Fair Gaming. So until next time, this has been Dio from Firm But Fair Gaming. I hope you are enjoying BellWright. Happy hunting, bandit slaying, gathering, and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you in the next video.